Well, my name is Safraz Ali. I'm the president of the Pakistan Youth and Community Center. I actually helped to build that community center by getting the land from the Liverpool City Council, and the person who really helped us to achieve all that was Lord David Alton. He was a key figure behind working with the Home Office and the Liverpool City Council, because he was a councillor with the Liverpool City Council, and one of the conditions was that if the City Council will give us the 75% of the grant, the Home Office will give us the 25%, or either way. And he, because he was a councillor, managed to get it all that, and that's how we actually got the grant to build that community centre. I was born in Kenya, East Africa, and from there, my parents then sent me to Pakistan to study in the university, and then when I came here, I was introduced into the Pakistan, but we didn't have the Pakistan Center there. We had Pakistan Association, and I joined the Pakistan Association in Liverpool, and that's how we started then working on it with the help of David Dalton and other distinguished uh, people to achieve what we have actually achieved. And we are very proud because we are the only organization in this country who have a Pakistani organization who has a purpose-built community center for them. Because my younger brother used to be in Liverpool, I used to work in Kenya. I had a good job. A friend of mine who used to play with Lancashire Cricket Club, he was coming here, and I said, "Oh, I want to go with you." And my father tried to stop me. I said, "No, I'm going to UK." So I just came here, and then faced the harsh realities of coming here. I can tell you that when I came here, it was winter, and I had no coat or anything like that. And the first coat I bought was from a Jewish fellow for £3.50. The arms were that long, so I had to fold them back. So it was hard, but then my ego would not allow me to go back because I wanted to go back. But then I said, with what face will I go back to say to my father? He tried to stop me to come. I said, no, I'm not going back. So I stayed here and worked hard and slowly built my way up. And the funny part is that I used to know a Scottish gentleman who was a manager in one of the factories. And I went to get a job there in the factory. He says to me, "Do you know anybody in the north?" I said, "Yes, I got my younger brother." He said, "Get out of London. It's not a place." He says, "If I can get out of here, I'll go tomorrow. Don't stay here. Go in the north, much better life for you." And I listened to him, and then I came here. So there are some nice people who give you genuinely good advice. As soon as I arrived here, my brother-in-law said to me, "Do you want a job?" I said, "Yeah, I do want a job." And the situation was such that in those days, if you go in front of a factory, the manager will come out and say, "Do you want a job? Do you want a job?" There were so many jobs going. So I started working with a company called Camillairs Shipbuilders. And that's how I started working from there. And then I went from there, I came to work with Glaxo Pharmaceutical Company. And slowly, made my base here. It took time, but in the end, you achieve if you work hard. Funny enough, people used to respect you a lot more than they respect you now, because now because people have come from Kosovo and all the other places, and racism has built in. Uh, we never actually initially felt racism, people who are against you or against your race. And I remember once a fellow said to me, "You're a bloody Paki." I said, "Thank you very much indeed." He said, "Why?" I said, "Because I'm proud to be a Paki, because I'm Pakistani. So call me a Paki, it doesn't harm, it doesn't hurt me. It's one of those things. So you need to look at things and then take it into context, and that the people don't get upset. Then they realize, that you're part and parcel of the society here. Well, if you're a black man, you can't just say that you don't expect racism. There are people up and down. They're wrong people, they're good people. But majority of the people are very decent people. there are people who are racist, and they will let you know that they are racist, and it's one of those things, you deal with it when you come across it. Well, as I said to you right from the beginning, that it wasn't. It just the idea was put into my mind by Lord Alton, and I had no idea, what a community center is. And then he said to me that let's build the Caribbean Center, the Pakistani Center, and the Hindu Center. We used to call the center as Pakistan Youth and Community Center. Then we had a gentleman who's sadly passed away. His name was Anwar, and he said to me, "Do you know what we should call? We shouldn't call it that. We should call it Paul Center." I said, "What do you mean by Paul?" He said, "Well, Paul means my friend, and also Pakistan Association Liverpool. So it serves both purposes." So that it hurt my heart. I said, "Well, that's a good idea." That's how we then established Paul Center. Yeah. Frida was in Uganda, and I was here, and all I got was a call from my father, "You're engaged." I said, "Oh, to who?" And that's how it used to be done. The families would do. We used to have arranged marriages all the time, and by the grace of God, Allah, I've got beautiful wife, and I love her very much. Yeah. Frida came afterwards, didn't she?
Did you?
No, when I went back again, and then when we got married, then Frida came back with me. Yes, yes, yeah. I used to live, in Granby Street. Remember Granby Street? My younger brother used to live in Granby Street, so we moved into Granby Street, and then we decided that no,
Royston Street.
Royston Street. Then we moved into Royston. We bought a little shop from a Jewish lady. We bought the shop from her, and we moved into Royston Street then, didn't we? And from there, obviously, we moved into Garmoy Road, because a friend of mine used to live in Little Road, and he persuaded me to move into Garmoy Road. So we sold the shop and we moved into Garmoy Road then. I mean, the beauty of that was that we did not never had this that he's a Hindu, he's a Muslim, he's a Sikh. We never had that. All we had was we were together, and that was the theme, and that was the feeling we all had, and that's how we lived. And it worked very well. And I still have that. Some of my best friends are Hindus and Sikhs. Frida's best friend is a Hindu from Smidna Road. She's Mrs. Verma. She's one of the best person I've ever known. The funny part, we had next door neighbor. She was called Mum. We used to call her Mum because she actually brought my children. Smira, she actually brought them all up. From the childhood. Huh? Mrs. McCormick.
Lillian McCormick.
Lillian. They were absolutely genuine people. They never had racism in their heart, or we never even felt that. They treated us like their own. I remember we moved into Dagama Road. As soon as we not even settled, the doorbell rang, and it was Mum with a cup of tea. Is Frida, is a cup of tea. You don't get people like those anymore now. Those were people genuinely welcomed you into their heart. Yeah. It was funny. When Frida went to Africa, Mum used to wash my clothes, and then iron them. And once she was ironing them, she burned my shirt from the back. And instead of telling me, she took a piece of cloth and put it at the back and a patch. And I went to work, and they all started laughing at me. I said, "What's wrong?" And I said, "Mom, why did you do that?" I said, "You should have just told me that it doesn't matter, it was only a damn shirt." But, she said, "No, I didn't want you to feel, genuinely very nice people. She was like a grandmother to us. I loved her very, very much, and I miss her to this day. Nothing really. What actually happened was that we bought this land. This used to be Hillfoot Hayes School. And we bought this land, the whole scale, with the idea of making into small plots and selling it to people who built with their own house. And that's how we came across. I had no intention of building my own house there because I used to live in Gama Road quite a. And then Yusuf said to me, "No, you build it here," and that's how we started building it here, and built our own house here. And I'm glad I did because it's a lovely place, lovely area, lovely people around me. He was married to my sister, yeah. My brother.
So there was.
My brother used to be here, Iftihar, and then Yusuf, they were both here.
Yeah.
Then Iftihar moved to London, and then Yusuf stayed here. My sister lived in Manchester, in Liverpool, and then from here they moved into Manchester. My elder sister, yeah. Then they moved to Manchester. Then she's still in Manchester actually. Because they were used to it, Uganda and Tanzania, all the Asians together, they used to meet. And up here, they didn't have that because we didn't. But in Manchester, we still have that, that culture. And they thought, well, it's best for them to move there into that culture so they can still feel. So that's how they moved to Manchester, you see. Extremely important, and it should be important to everyone. Is your inheritance. Now, I believe that if you don't follow your culture, every community has their own culture. Some believe in God, some don't believe in God, some believe in various other things. So you have to have respect for every culture and understand that culture as to why they believe in it, how do they believe in it, and why should they believe in it, and give them that respect. You don't have to like somebody who's actually praying to statues. No, but you have to give them that respect because it is their belief, and that's how I've always lived. Yeah. I do, and my children understand that. Although primarily they've been brought up as Muslims with the Holy Quran, with the mosque, with the namaz and everything, but also they do understand what the other cultures are all about. I've never ever, even Samira and my other siblings, never told them that this is that and that is this. It's always been different. It's a long history because when I did arrive here, and I was only in fact I wasn't a qualified man. I was only a clerk working with Cameliers, and then with the GlaxoSmithKline in Liverpool. And I remember one of my boss his name was Dennis Brick, and he said to me, "I need to take your test," when he employed me, and he wrote a little test. And he says to me, "I'll leave that test with you for 5 minutes and I'll come back and ask you an answer." And as he was going, I said, just a second. I said, "I know the answer." He said, "Oh, how do you know the answer?" I said, "I looked at it and I know the answer. That's the answer." And he said to me, "Well, there's nothing I can do, nothing more I can do. You got the job." So people were nice. People were nice. People took you. We used to have a gentleman called Harry Birtwistle. And he was a gentleman because what actually happened was I was a supervisor and there was another fellow who was a supervisor, but he was getting twice the wages than I was getting it. And then Harry Birtwistle found out and he came up to me and he says to me, "Why are you getting less wages?" I said, "I don't know why I'm getting less wages." So he went to the personnel manager, he said to him, "Give him his wages because he's been doing that job for the last 6 months, backdate it and give him the money." No. It was just genuinely one of those things, many every company, Smira, they get away with it, they'll get away with it. They don't, I don't think race has got anything to do with it. They'll do it to anybody. And people might try to associate it with race because, we are, but deep inside, I don't believe that's the case. I think English people are genuinely very nice people in that sense. They deep inside they don't believe in racism. They do. There are obviously exceptions. In every community there are, but majority don't. They are down to earth. It's just through the center. David Alton recommended me, and then I was invited to the Buckingham Palace. I went there with your mum, and we had a very nice time there. Enjoyed it very much, Buckingham Palace. We have photographs out there, with the Buckingham. It's part and parcel of the system. You go through this, not only me, other people do. The government has laid that system. You go through there, you go to the Buckingham Palace, they take your telephone off, they take your everything. Anything associated with, you got to leave it at the counter there and then go inside. And very, very strict, when you go and see the Prince or Prince Charles, or nowadays his son is there nowadays. But I was lucky that it was Prince Charles who was there. And it's very emotional. And it's a very nice experience to actually go and meet the royalty. Not many people have that opportunity to go and shake a hand with the king. Not many people have that opportunity. So I was very honored, very honored. I still feel very honored with that, Funny that it's been mentioned, but that happened due to you, due to Samira. She freed Samira. You actually told me that you become a family mediator. I said, well, what is a family mediator? Then Samira put me through and then got me the permission, the admission into family mediator. And I went to London. Then I stayed there, and then I became a family mediator. And it's a good thing, Although, having said that, there are not many people who would actually feel comfortable to get somebody else to mediate for you. They would rather do it themselves. And I found that is a misconception within the system. But as long as you know you're there, and if they need your help, you can provide that. One word, the people. I think they're genuinely very, very nice people. And I would not trade myself going any other city apart from Liverpool, because I love my people here and the people are very nice. And they're genuinely down to earth. They treat you equally, they talk to you equally. I mean, even now, it's strange. We have a family here called Sam, and his father actually fell out with me and something. And he came to the door, his father, to complain to me about it, because I said to his father, I said, why are you standing outside? Come on in. And he was shocked. I said, come on, sit down, we'll talk about it. What happened? Amir was there. I said, Amir, what happened? He said, we sorted it out 2 minutes. Now they're best of our friends. And Sam is always here he will just come in, Sam, and say, Frida, how are you? The other day I was lying outside and Sam came in, straight outside to Frida. I've just come to say hello to you. Genuinely nice people. I love them all, You always miss your back home. You miss wherever you were born and grown up, your school, your children, your friends who have now, and we don't only used to have Pakistani friends, but Indian, Sikhs and all. They all moved away. They moved into, when Idi Amin came and when Kenya was called independence, they all left. I miss all that because it was a different atmosphere. It was a lovely place. But then part of life, these things happen, In every country it happens, but it's not only there. It's now happening with Kosovo and all those, those people are going through the same thing as we did, So one has to, accept that and face that challenge when you come to it, The only thing I would say to them is always remember yourself inside as who you are. Don't let other people influence you and try and change your point of view or you just always feel what you have inside and say it. Other people might not like it, but at least you know that genuinely you have said what is said. And later on in life, they'll probably realize that what you said was right. And I think that's how you should live your life. Always say what you feel like saying, genuinely say what you feel like saying inside, and then Allah will help you with that, Yeah. No. I've not been back since I've coming here. I've lived here. Did we go back to Kenya? No.
No, we've been twice, 3 times.
Twice, I
Yeah,
think.
for holiday.
Holidays only.
Or the wedding.
Not to,
The
just for a wedding and
But
anything
have you
like that.
been back?
Yeah, we have been. But Smira is, like everything else, it's not the same. It's not the same whether you live there, it's a different thing. But when you move away and then you go back on a holiday, it's a different atmosphere. It's not exactly the same. I mean, if you ask me, then would I go back and live in Africa again? I said, no, I'll not. Because I'll not be able to. It's not my culture anymore. It's not, I'm used to here now. You're born here, you're grown up here. All my children are born here, gone to the university here, mashallah. They're all educated here. To Smira and to my other children, this is their country. They have not known any other country than this country. It is their country, it's their home. We will always acknowledge that if there is a Pakistan Independence Day, for example, or Lahore, Declaration of Independence from India, all those things, our young children who are born here, they don't know these things. But then we have them in the center, we educate them, we tell them that, look, this is where this is where we come from. That's why we call this Pakistan Youth and Community Center, just to associate our with, okay, that's how we went through. During the past, in fact, sometimes I go out of my way to explain it to them. When India and Pakistan partition happened, how people were killed and how they were, how the Hindus were put against Muslims by the Sikhs, and all those things, or the Hindus put them Sikhs against Muslims. All those things, they have to know these things. Although they have a lot of Sikh Hindu friends, but they should know the background as to why their parents don't say these things. Why are their parents saying that, oh, India is this, India? Because they have been through that. We have not been through that. They appreciate it, we don't. But for them to know the background is important. When I married my wife. She is to be honest with you, I'm not saying that because she's sitting here. I love her very much. She makes me very happy. And without her, my life is nothing. She is my life. She's my happiness. Yeah. Yeah.